Order number 6, 44 cards, arrived at PSA February 5th, was completed by February 28th, 16 business days total. Back at it once again, February 2nd now. Got this order inputted on the 31st. As many of you may know, PSA extended their deadline for submissions because the site was crashing on the 31st because everybody decided it'd be a great idea to wait until the last day to do it. And they all got on there at the same time and started doing it like a bunch of geniuses. Me, I was already golden. In other words, I did mine later at night and the entire East Coast was asleep. So I didn't have any problems. But PSA extended the deadline to February 1st. So I was able to actually churn out a couple more orders, order 5 and 6. Let's get into order number 6. Hello, ma'am, sir. Ma'am, sir. Hello. Jurion Dickey, Oregon wide receiver. Beautiful card. It's perfect. Perfect until that one little scratch right there. Oh, come on. You hurt me. How does that one little scratch get on the card? Oh, I need a 10 on that one. They're going to give me a 9. But I'll predict a 9 on it. Johnny Wilson, yellow auto. Print line down the center of the card. You can see it up there. And going down, these are numbered to 75. I'll give you a little look at the back there. So it'd be interesting to see if the grader tens either one of those. You saw Dickey with the small scratch, little Dickey, and Johnny's Wilson with the print line. It'd be interesting if they tend one and not the other. This Johnny Wilson, we're going to see if the grader notices that indentation there on the card. Same kind of print line right down the middle of the card, just like the previous one. I'm not even going to enter a prediction on that one. That indentation on the card is so egregious. We're hoping that by the time the grader gets to this, it's at the end of his day and he's just like, F it, I'm pushing everything through, I'm giving everything 9s and 10s, I don't care. And he just doesn't even notice it. Fashanu, same deal, print lines there down the center. There's that one, then there's that one next to it. You go all the way down the card. Go 9 on that one as well. Dallas Turner, go another 9. Light print lining here. Some of these, of course, I could see squeezing 10s out of, just depending on how much allowance there is for print lines. Try not to submit anything that's too bad, where you can see it with the naked eye. Brian Thomas Gold, look for his name in the draft. First round, second round-ish early. Everything's clean except a slight little print line there. You can see here. Sexy as a mofo. I'm going to call a 10 on that one. I think they're going to show me a little love on that one. Nico Collins, optic rated rookie. This one, the Aqua. Print line you saw down the card there. Number to 299. With a 9 on that one. You can see we're getting to the bottom of the barrel in terms of 10s and everything like that. Still decent cards for retail, for low-end-ish, mostly retail. Decent. That's about it, just decent. I figure in the very end, when I recap all of the orders, that we'll see this order with the lowest rate of 10s. This Tua, Vertex, I thought was really clean. Wanted to get that one submitted. Jordan Love, Clear Vision, going 9 all the way on this one. Print line, and then there was a scratch in there as well. I have no illusions about that one getting a 10. Get into the Ohtani stuff for the 50 millionth time. I'm sure you're as sick of looking at this motherfucker as I am. 10 going with on this one. Show the back there real quick. Nothing there. Another Chrome update card. This one will be a 9. Some slight surface scratching in there. There's some individual in the Schlopsky Discord who's working the Kurt's Card Care overtime on his stuff. I tried it just for sake of a video and I need to do another video trying it again, but I don't know that I'd ever go down that road. Slight surface scratch up there. Still think maybe they'll let it slide and give me a 10, so I'm going to predict a 10 on that one. But of course, if it came back a 9, I wouldn't have any complaint and I would be kicking myself for sending the card in. A couple Heritage Masterpiece cards. I was going on a rant about Tyrese Halliburton being a big crybaby. Crybaby wasn't exactly the term I used for him. Called him a pussy. Ohtani, clean. There is a slight bit of white on this corner here. Like I joked about in previous videos with him. Just notice a little slight bit of white on that border as well. There's whatever that is on my finger. That's some PSA 9 fingers there. So we'll go ahead and call that one a 9. Had it just been that one corner, might have been bold enough to call a 10. Same thing here as well. Pretty good, but just a slight bit of white on these borders. Maybe hard to tell. I was talking about Halliburton complaining and basically him not going to work. If you didn't see that video, he still wanted money as if he was going to work. He's out here missing games. He's complaining about how he's not going to get more money because he's missing games. In other words, missing work. I bring this up again because I've got 2 of these Heritage Gallery cards because Draymond Green's out here flapping his gums, of course, because that's all he's really good for at this point in his career, flapping his gums. Well, he got the Warriors for that most recent contract in the offseason. A little something there on the surface. Call that one a 9 because of that. This looks like the printer ran out of whatever. 3 of these Topps Gallery Ohtanis. So Green flapping his gums, as I said. First one looks pretty clean. 10 on that one. He is saying the reason that Embiid got injured recently, a slight meniscus issue, is because of the 65 game rule. Like, this guy's out here trying to play for an MVP. Maybe, but let's be honest. Those pampered babies in the league, they get paid regardless of how many games they play in. Guaranteed contracts and all of that. NBA, MLB. Somebody like Embiid, or I would say most of them, I would imagine, could care less about an MVP. It's a little dot of something down there. Not sure it's picking up. Should be a 10. That dot might knock it down. Oh, let's go all 3 10s. You're telling me a guy making that much money really cares about an MVP? If you tell me about a championship trophy, yeah, that I get, but an MVP? Big deal. Who's really going to risk injury or what have you if that were really the case for an MVP award? Insignificant award by and large, right? Because when you're talking about somebody like that on a team with championship aspirations, there's only one trophy that matters. So Green's an idiot. We all know that. Embiid, also a pussy. We all know that. Got 2 of these James Wood mojos. Green's out here talking about that stuff, acting as if it's not Embiid that we're talking about. If I told you the 76ers played last night, call it 10 on that Wood, and somebody got injured, and I would say the same thing of the Celtics. If I told you those teams were playing and somebody got injured, who'd be your first guess? I guess, John, we can talk about the Angels as well. They're playing, somebody got injured, Wood is clean.
You know what they say. Once you go Wood, nothing's as good.
Go another 10 on that, and who would pop to mind? Obviously, I'm talking about Embiid with the Sixers. Ellie Mojo, talking about Porzingis with the Celtics. That guy's always sitting out games. Load management. If you've seen some of my videos in the past where I showed the Ellie, there's this line down here. You can see it running down there. Try to keep the light on it. It's not a print line, card design. I need to take a look at the 10s and see if I can see that in any of the slabs. I call it 10, but it wouldn't surprise me if they gave that a 9 because of that, because not every Ellie has that. A few had it. I want to say 30% of them, maybe, of the ones I submitted across these 6 orders. Lawler, Refractor, print line, running vertically across the card, down the card, and then horizontally as well. Not really picking up. You know I love showing. Oh, there we go. I had it. I lost it. There was that one. Vertical one. Horizontal one. There it is. Right there somewhere. Right there somewhere. Makes a lot of sense, right? Death, taxes, and Embiid getting injured. Green's forgetting who we're talking about here. Gunner. Spotlight. Faint print lines down there. Need the grader just to hook me up and give me a 10. I'm calling 10 on that one. Pulled this Casa Spotlight at a 50. Gold there, you can see the spotlight. If you didn't see the number, you could still see the gold there on the spotlight. It's got some surface stuff going on. I'd be happy with a 9. If they give the Gunner a 9 and this one a 9, I don't know what to say. You can see here the outline of the spotlight on the Casas versus the Gunner. And just a base versus the gold. Some print lining down here as well. So you see. If they give both of these cards the same grade, and if it's a 10, I'll take it, sure. But there's a little bit of difference between the QC on those two cards. Volpe, top 100, little surface action there. It's another little something over there. I don't know if you could see that. And then something over here in his leg. Uria. It's a green to 99. Just like with the Casas. Oh, it's number 1. We've got a eBay 1 of 1. We can market it as. It's a $3 card instead of a $2 card because of that. If the Casas wasn't numbered, I wouldn't be sending that one in. The Volpe, definitely the same thing. You're not going to send a base of these inserts in unless it's pretty clean and somebody like Churio, Gunner, Ellie. Mikey Romero auto.
The Red Sox, Mickey Romero. Holy crap, Mickey Romero.
Leaf Trinity. Print lines there running down the card there. A little hard to see. They are there, numbered to 50. Same thing. Go with a 9 on this auto. Same thing being the same as those last few, where it wouldn't be something I would be submitting if it were a base card. Since it's numbered, you're submitting that, hoping to get a 9. The same with this Mead Speckle. Green to 99. We got some print lines running down it. Several, 3, 4 of them. So I'd definitely be happy with a 9 on this one. Everything else looks pretty good. Centering, maybe slightly chunkier at the bottom, but still pretty close to 50-50. Gavin Cross, same thing, shimmer to 99. This one a lot cleaner. It's got a little bit of surface scratching there, some faint print lines there in his cross area. Of the two, this one's a lot cleaner than the Mead. If you told me one of them got a 10 and the other one got a 9, I would say, first of all, Embiid getting injured is what he does, but then I would assume that it was the cross. Pro debut, Ignacio Alvarez auto to 199. I have a lot of base ones of these as well. Decided to submit this one in a blue, the previous order. Numbered action on that one as well. He may be a PC guy of mine. Don't tell anyone. Out here, beaver chasing. That's the only time I'm going to say it because I've said it several times in past videos. I'm going to call a 10 on the Ignacio Alvarez auto. Hopefully. This Beavers looks pretty clean as well. A super clean Beavers. Nothing is better than super clean Beavers. Hopefully, this one can get me a 10. God, I'd love a 10 Beavers. Show you the back of the Beavers as well. Back of the Beavers potentially could look as nice as the front. I think this case it does. Nice Beavers. So you see a lot of baseball in this order, right? The very first order, second order-ish, third, you saw a lot more football. That was because, as I said in those videos, that I had football ready. I just didn't send them back late in the year last year. Riley Green to 99. The scratch there near his shoulder. Not sure if you're picking that up. A little something there. That's a card flaw there. Kind of manufacturing nonsense going on. Green to 99. True green, actually. A true green of green. Say 9 on that one. Aaron Zavala, refractor. Great centering. Lots of print lines on it, though. We'll go ahead and go with a 9 on this one. Not much else to say aside from lots of print lines. And the 2 Ohtani Bowman that I had shown you earlier, those should have been at the end of the order. Those were late additions. Lawler, Sky Blue, refractor, about 3 print lines running down the card. So again, we'll go with a 9 on these. Obviously, you hope there's some leeway on some of these cards. Lawler's one of those guys, stating the obvious. Him, Churio, Holiday, Mayer, guys like that are up next. Senga to 75. That's just a paper rookie. Go with a 10 on this one. Slight little whitening on that border there. Slight little whitening on that bottom corner. I talked about this in a video in passing long ago where I was saying that I had seen 10s of some of these Bowman paper cards because almost every corner, lower left corner, specifically would have just the slightest bit of whitening on it. And if you ever open 22 or 23 Bowman blasters, for instance, take a look at that corner. If you never noticed, you probably did, but take a look at that lower left corner. You'll just see white on almost every base card corner. Why is it? Why? Go with a 10 on that Crow. Grr. So there does seem to be some kind of understanding, perhaps, that there are issues in the process. Just like issues with Embiid's process, who only has to show up to work 80% of the time, 65 out of 82 games. There you go. Print line. God, I thought I had a perfect card too. We're still going to call it a 10. I'm manifesting it right now. They're going to give me a pass on this one because it looks so good. Who has to only show up to work 80% of the time and demands a raise? What a great life, right? Lawler, yellow to 75. Print line down it right there. Pulled this out of a mega box. Double hit box. Had an Edinson Paulino auto as well. Decided to send this Lawler though. Non-first, as you saw. Cyan printing plate of Ezekiel Tovar from Leaf. It's actually a 1 of 1. How do you even, as a grader, begin to assess the thing for any kind of damage, right? There's no corners to grade. Centering, I mean, you see these lines here, like this one right by my thumb. Is that a thing? Is these specs here? You knocking it down to a 9? They'll probably give it a 9. I want to see a 10 on this printing plate. Tovar is a guy I collect. John, you and I have talked about him a little bit. Like I said, I'm calling a 10, though. I know I'm going to take the L. I know they're going to give that one a 9. I just know it. You know what? I take that back. I punked out. I went Embiid style and punked out. I'm going 9 on that Tovar. 10 on this Williams, though. Jalen Williams, definitely a guy I wouldn't mind having more cards of. OKC, what do you think of them? Obviously, we know the talent on the court, the record. Shy, Chet, Jalen with the EN. Is there enough money for Giddey? Remember, they had that problem before when they had Durant, Harden, and Westbrook. And eventually, whatever the story is you want to believe, there wasn't enough money. Harden was demanding the max, yada, yada, yada. There just wasn't enough money to keep all of those guys. So Harden got jettisoned away. Shaq, we're going 10 on this one. Last Shaq, 9. These two actually were cracked out of PSA 9 holders. Decided to spare you the cracking of that and the time spent. But this Shaq here looked like a 9. That one looked pretty good to me. So I'd be happy if they gave me 110. Some minor surface blemishes. It's a little hard to see on this one. 9. Give me 110. All right. That is the end of it. 6 orders total. Like I said, there'll be blind reveals when I get those back as I get them in one by one. There'll be an overall recap at the end. 248 cards is what I've got going over there. That's costing me quite a bit. Time to apply for a credit card, baby. 21 10s out of 44 cards, so we'll see how many I get right. I bet my percentage is going to be pretty low. I'm actually surprised that I'm calling 21 10s out of there. I think I'm going to be taking the L pretty hard on there. I'd be happy if it was anywhere near 21 10s though. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't drop my cards, official race card in honor of this month, white privilege card, which I was born with. It's actually attached to my umbilical cord. Throwing these in with the order, like I've mentioned with my past couple orders, drop them in the box with the paperwork. PSA will choose whichever one is appropriate, given whoever is grading the cards. What they do is these are chip cards like I talked about in the last video. Stick it in the machine, and it just activates something where a printout happens and it tells the grader how many 10s to give you. So hopefully one of these two cards gets me at least 50% 10s on this one, even though I'm only calling 21 out of 44. Oh my goodness, I can't. Take care, everyone.
How about you and I do a little rehearsing on our own, honey?
Holy crap, Mickey Romero?